Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Job Search Reality Series. I'm Philip Todd Brooks, also known as Todd Brooks from Athens, Georgia. Today is day 9 of 31 days of Job Search Reality, and I want to talk about something that has probably happened to almost everyone who's ever searched for a job. You find a position that looks great, you like the company, you read the responsibilities and think, I can do this job. Then you scroll down to the qualifications. They want 5 years of experience. You only have 3. They want experience with a certain software program. You've used something similar, but not that exact program. Maybe there's even a certification listed as preferred that you don't have. And suddenly you think, well, I guess I'm not qualified. So you close the posting. But here's the question I want you to think about. Did the employer reject you, or did you reject yourself? That's an important distinction, because one of the biggest mistakes we can make during a job search is assuming we have to meet 100% of the qualifications before we're even allowed to apply. That's simply not always the case. Job descriptions often describe what I would call the employer's ideal candidate. They're describing everything they love to find in one person, and sometimes that person just doesn't exist. Now, obviously, there are exceptions. If the job legally requires a certain license or certification, that's different. If they're looking for someone who can perform a highly specialized technical function that you've never done, that's different too. I'm not suggesting that you apply for positions you're completely unqualified to perform, but what I'm saying is look at the core of the job. Ask yourself, can I perform the main responsibilities? Do I have transferable skills? Have I solved similar problems in another position? And can I realistically learn the things I don't already know? If the answer is yes, then maybe you should apply. Your experience doesn't always have to come from the exact same job title. Leadership is transferable. Customer service is transferable. Communication is transferable. Problem solving is transferable. Sales skills are transferable. Technology skills can often be transferable. Sometimes an employer may look at your background and see potential that you didn't even realize they were looking for. And there's another important part of this. Never exaggerate your qualifications. If you don't have a certification, don't claim that you do. If you've never used a particular software program, don't say that you have. If you have 3 years of experience, don't magically turn it into 5. Instead, make the strongest truthful case for yourself. You could say, I haven't worked with that exact software, but I've worked extensively with a similar system and I'm confident I can learn it quickly. That's very different from pretending you already know something that you don't. Confidence and honesty can exist together, and here's the biggest thing I want you to remember from today's video. If you don't apply, the answer is automatically no. If you do apply, maybe they reject you. That's possible, but maybe they call you for an interview. Maybe they decide your other experience makes up the qualification that you're missing. Maybe you bring something to the table that none of the candidates who checked every box can offer. And maybe you get the job. Let the employer make that decision. Don't make it for them. You don't have to be the perfect candidate. You need to demonstrate that you could be the right candidate. So today's challenge is simple. The next time you find a position that genuinely interests you, don't immediately walk away because you're missing 1 or 2 qualifications. Look at the entire job. Look at what you bring to the table. And if you can make a legitimate case that you could succeed, apply. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever applied for a job where you didn't meet every qualification and still got the interview or even got hired? Tell me about it in the comments. And recruiters and hiring managers, I'd especially like to hear from you. How flexible are those qualifications when you find a candidate you really like? If you're enjoying 31 Days of Job Search Reality, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's searching for their next opportunity. I'm Philip Todd Brooks, also known as Todd Brooks from Athens, Georgia. And remember, don't reject yourself before the employer gets the chance to say yes. Real job search, real solutions, real you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for day 10.